Nitzavim Vayelech and Rosh Hashanah. We have just heard the sounds of the curses, the chastisements, the exile, the persecutions. And then the Torah begins a new chapter. You are all standing this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, in order to pass through the covenant. Those who are here with you now before the Lord your God, and those who are not here with you now before the Lord your God. Who are all of these people who were not here with us, but who are still passing before God's covenant? Conventional wisdom has it, and so it is with all of the interpreters that I know. We're talking about the future generations yet unborn. They are the ones. And that's very important. Because I want to raise one more issue. Since the portion of Nitzavim generally falls out right before Rosh Hashanah, as it does this year as well. And I'd like to raise an issue which is strange concerning Rosh Hashanah. What do we read about on Rosh Hashanah? I would say Rosh Hashanah Hayom Harat Olam, the day the world was created. We should read the creation of the world. We even should start the Bible, Bereshit, on Rosh Hashanah. That would be my logic. We're coming towards the end of the Bible anyway. The portions are rather small, the biblical portions. There's no reason why that did not happen. What we read about is the Abrahamic family and the beginning of the Abrahamic family. But Rosh Hashanah is not the beginning of the Jewish people. Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the world, the creation of the world. Wouldn't that reading from the earliest part of, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, be much more apt? But that's not the case. And I'll suggest why it's not the case. What God is telling us by telling us about the story of Abraham, that on Rosh Hashanah we think about the world and about the imperfections of the world. And the primary task of every individual, tikkun olam, to make the world a little better. To do our share in fixing and perfecting a broken and imperfect world. But how do you begin perfecting the world? How do you begin changing the world? And we read about the first Jewish family, the Abrahamic family. You start with the family. Every person's primary world is his family. The most profound creation that any of us will ever do in our lifetimes is the family that we produce. The children and hopefully the grandchildren that we have, that we nourish and that we nurture and that we guide in their earliest years, and that hopefully we continue to influence as we grow older and they grow old. And it's very fascinating that from a Jewish perspective, we recite already in the blessings at marriage, "Blessed are you, our Lord, our God, who has created the human being in his image." In the image of his divine being. Binyan Adei Ad, an eternal creation. Each of us has our eternal world. Each of us is DNA, a part of our past, and DNA, a part of our future. Hopefully we receive many of our most positive things from the past, certainly our forebears. What we give to our children enables us to live, to continue to live through their lives and their deeds. As I've said so many times, Judaism is an unfinished symphony. And the greatest task of every generation is to give over the baton to the next generation. Our past goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. And our future goes all the way front to the ultimate redemption. And we have a share both backwards and forwards through family. Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kulchem, all of you together. And I'll tell you something which is fascinating. The Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, chapter 14, page 14, asks the question, why don't we say Hallel, psalms of praise on Rosh Hashanah, the creation of the world? And the answer is, the book of life and the book of death is before the Almighty. It's also a little bit of a frightening time. How can we say Hallel? But that's not the Hebrew I heard from my teacher, Rabbi Soloveitchik. Sifrei HaChaim VaHaMeitim, the book of the living people and the book of the dead people, are before God. And as Rabbi Soloveitchik explained it magnificently, on Rosh Hashanah, both the living and the dead are being judged. My grandmother, may her soul rest in peace, who died in 1960, profoundly influenced me. The good things that I did are to her credit. I just had the privilege of marrying off a grandchild. The life that he will lead, and even his children will lead, will have a great deal to do with what they have or have not learned from me. We are formed by our past, and we help form our future. And what came before us and what comes after us are all judged on Rosh Hashanah. And our judgments and their judgments are intertwined together. Because family brings eternity. And there's no greater creativity than the creation of family. Shabbat Shalom.